Okay, so let's start with the unit number 4. So this is our unit number 4, that is service oriented architecture and cloud security. Okay, there are main 2 points into this SOA, that is called as a service oriented architecture, and the cloud security. Okay, what is there in the service oriented architecture? So that is cloud computing architecture. That is the first one. That NIST model we have seen already. Okay, so that is your the basic cloud computing architecture. The same point is there in this unit also. So that will be first point. Then cloud computing life cycles. This is also important question for your theory as well as for your oral exams. So what is a life cycle? Which are the different steps are there whenever I want to build some project onto the cloud? Okay, so those steps you should be able to you should be able to explain. Then cloud computing reference architecture, that I told you, that is your NIST model. Okay, all of you are aware of that. The same thing, same diagram you have to draw it here again, and then the same diagram you have to explain. Then SOA, this is also important point from this unit, that is service oriented architecture, characteristics and fundamental components. And the next point is the cloud security. Okay, the name of this cloud security, they are calling it as a CIA model. In the orals also, they will ask you the question, what is CIA model? Okay, so the CIA stands for confidentiality, integrity, and availability. Okay, so this model is called as a CIA security model. So my model should be confidential, the data should be, the data integrity they should maintain, and the availability should be there. Then cloud computing security architecture. So these are the what are the different service provider security issues. Then cloud security issues and challenges. Okay, so this complete unit is related. Second point is related to cloud security. So let's start first with the first point, that is the cloud computing life cycle. Okay, so in first step is define the purpose. Whatever, if I want to build any model onto the cloud, so the first step is define the purpose. So what, for what purpose we are going to build that model onto the cloud? Okay, so this is the first step. The second step is define the hardware. So you think it as a one project you are having, and that project we have to build it onto the cloud. Okay, any project you can consider, you have designed some software, and that software you have to make it available to everyone. So what process you have to follow to build your project onto the cloud? So the first one is define the purpose. So the for what reason we are building that project? Okay, is it for the some social connections we want to build, or for some application oriented project is this? So what is the purpose of that? So understand the requirement of the business and determine what type of applications to run onto the cloud. Then the second step is define the hardware, which type of hardware you want to build. So the EC2, that practical, on that Saturday's practical lecture, we have practical session, we have seen that how to build the EC2 model. One more option is there, Lambda, then Elastic Container Services. So these are the different hardwares available onto the AWS, and out of which everyone has their own advantages and disadvantages. So out of these, which hardware do you want to choose? Okay, so the lambda is there, means suppose the fraction of seconds. So I don't have very large model with me, but very small model, and some instances I want to upload and deploy that, just check the output of that, then that is called as a lambda one. Am I audible? Okay. Then elastic container services, this is the third one. So these are the different options for the hardware. Then define the storage. Now the hardware part is done. Now how much storage do you want? How much database do you have with you? Because these are the cloud models, and also generally we are going for the large database might be there. Suppose if I want to build some AIML model is there, the main requirement of these AIML or DL models is that we should have a large database. Okay, so obviously the storage should be the large one. So these are the different storage services provided by the cloud AWS. That is S3 is there, EFS is there, Glacier is there. Glacier is like a large, like the name itself indicates that large storage is available over there. Okay, S3 is your simple storage service. Okay, that's why it is called as a S3 model. Then EFS is there. So which type of storage do you want? Okay, that is a step number 3. Define the network. Now storage it is done. Now which type of network do you want to build? The VPC network we have seen on that day. There might be root S3 or direct connect will be there. So define the network that security delivers the data, videos, applications, etc. with low latency and high transparency speed. So what we should see in this, because the low latency means it should not be like that I'm uploading the data right now and then I have to wait and after 5 minutes I will get the results. Okay, so everyone now, this is like a reels generation, so you are having everything in fraction of seconds, right? So 2 minutes reels only you used to see, not 2 minutes, some 20 seconds, 1 minute reels will be there. So it's like a that fast movements, you are familiar with those things. So it should not be like that. So I have just uploaded and I'm waiting for the answer and it is coming some after half an hour. So that latency should be less. So according to that, our network should be very fast. So no users will use your application. Okay, and the higher transfer speed, the whatever the data you are transferring and getting the data, it should be at the transfer speed should be high. So according to that we have to define the network. Suppose whatever the content you are sending, if it is of high MB or high storage it needs, then that network should be more strong. Okay, suppose it is my files are very small in kbs or something, then you can use the normal network, that is VPC. But if you want to transfer the larger images or larger data sets, then you have to use the more advanced networks, that's like a root S3 and direct connect. Okay, then the define the security. So all these comes with the security, because if security is not there we cannot go for those types of applications. Okay, so the security is very very important for us. So we should check the security also. So set up your security services which enable services for user authentication or limiting access to certain set of users on your AWS resources. So, and as on that day, we have seen that there are two types of, one is a root user and one is a IAM user. Okay, so root user, it's like your admin kind of thing. Okay, all the controls will be in his hand. So which services, which type of person is going to use? Suppose there is a one person, he has to handle only with the databases. So only the S3 service will be given to that person. Suppose I am going to build everything onto the network, then that network connection, that network services will be given to that person. Okay, so suppose someone is going to build that, deploy that model onto the that instances, then EC2 instance will be given to that typical team, or to typical those persons, those who are going to develop those models. Okay, so it's like a team type of work. So because all the services, it is like there are thousands of services available in the AWS or in the cloud. So it's not necessary that all the services should be given to the all users. Okay, because they don't need it. So and it will be the extra baggage for them, we have to pay for them and all. Okay, so that is your root user who is going to check all those things. So which services will be given to only to those groups, or only to that teams they will be using those services, so that we have the security control in our hand. Suppose something happens to that data, then we can only ask and call to those people, that team, and we can check with them what happened with that data. Okay, so it should be like that. So define the security, then define the management process and tools. So where and how we have used that data, or for how much time we were running that deployment or that application onto the cloud. So that is called as a cloud watch. How much memory we have used, for how much time we have used that. So that comes under the cloud watch. Some we can give the option of auto scaling also. As I told you that suppose there is Amazon now, big sale is going on, right? Amazon day or Amazon sales is going on. So on those day there will be obviously more customers will be coming onto the Amazon. So that auto scaling should be there. So if we used to have 100 servers for the normal purpose, now if there is a sale, we have to go for the some 150 servers or 200 servers. So that auto scaling option is there. Then cloud formation is there. So define the management process and tools. So we can use these services to define the management process and tools which we are going to use it into the cloud. Then the seventh step is testing the process. Okay, now my model is built. I have checked how much data I have used, or that through the CloudWatch I get to know that how much time it requires, how much money I have to pay for to deploy those models and all. So all these things are done. Now testing the process, whatever we have built, how we will check that whether it's working or not. We have to test that model. Okay. So verify the process using AWS developer tools where you can build, test, and deploy your code quickly. So these are the testing the process. So all these things you can compare, or you can with your project you can compare or see that all these steps we are using in our B projects also. Okay, so now till now, suppose you have built your model. Now we are going to test that model. Okay, with the different databases or with different inputs, we can check those models, and then we can see the output what is happening over there. Once we have got the results, what we are supposed to do, the result analysis will be there. Okay, I got the results now. Now which parameters I have improved, where I have got stuck, or suppose there is accuracy parameter. So for others the accuracy was some 85%. Now I am getting the accuracy up to 88%. So that analysis we are going to do. So different analysis parameters, that is called as a result analysis. So we can check it with the different parameters available with us. Okay, so I have improved with the image quality, but sometimes it is at these points, or suppose some further some typical type of images that it's not going the correct result. Okay, so that type of analysis we can do. That is a step number 8. Okay, so I think that these are the 8 steps in the cloud computing life cycle. I think you would have understood. uh, if you want, you can go through these slides once again. So we are going to build the first we have to check the which type of services are available over there. Then what type of model we are going to use over there. Then which type of storage we want, what type of network we want. Once it is done, how much cloud front, means that cloud watch and all, how we are managing your tools, whether somewhere I'm using it extra things, which was the not necessary thing, and so simply we are paying extra for that. So we can check on all those things also. Okay, sometimes it happens, right? Just I have some extra material we would have bought for our project, and that we are not going to use. So all these checks we have to do, whether we are missing something or not, or whether it is extra somewhere or not. Okay, then test whatever the model you have built. You have to do the testing on that and do the analysis of your results. So that is the final step of your cloud computing life cycle. So this is important question for your theory as well as for your oral. Now this is a NIST reference model cloud computing reference architecture. If they are asking this question, this we have to see that we have to build that NIST model again. That cloud consumer is there, cloud auditor is there, cloud provider is there, and cloud broker is there. These things we have seen already. What are these concepts? Cloud consumer means what? Cloud provider means what? Okay, just go through these points we have seen. Now the next point is the service oriented architecture. So what is service oriented architecture? In this, there are three different parameters, main parameters are there. One is a service provider, one is a service consumer, and one is a service registry. Okay, so how it is like that? Suppose I am providing some services, some things are available with me. Suppose I have my own business of creating some tops are there. Okay, so I have means I have good tailor with me, and I am stitching different fashion clothes are there, and that I want to sell. So I am the service provider who has the different types of clothes are there. Okay, you people are the suppose service consumer. Okay, someone wants to buy the product or buy those dresses from me, so you will be the service consumer. Now how will you come to know that I am having all these types of materials, or these different types of fashion clothes are with me? How will you understand that? So somewhere it should get registered. That is called as a service registry. Suppose you are having the Amazon platform, or Myntra is there, or Flipkart is there, anything, Meesho is there. So all these are the service registries. So where the service provider are providing their services, so whichever services they are providing, they are going to register it with the service registry. Then service consumer will go to that service registry and check that, okay, I want to buy these things, whatever it may be related to your fashion. It might be your clothes, or some home appliances, or some decorating appliances, anything, some jewelry item. So whatever the service is, in whichever the domain, I mean, so in whichever the business I am there, so I can register my business onto that service registry. So this service registry is nothing but all these platforms: Amazon, Myntra, Meesho, Flipkart. All these are the service registries. Okay, so the who are the those business owners? Those are the service providers, because they are good in that. They are having their own businesses, so they are selling their products onto this service registry, and we people are the service consumers. Okay, so we can go to that service registry. We can send the request. Okay, I want to buy this. That request will go to the service provider. The service provider will say that, oh, okay, it's available with us, and they will provide that to you. Okay, so from the service provider it will come to the service consumer. So this is your SOA architecture. Let's see this diagram. There is a service provider and service consumer. Okay, so here service consumer is sending the request to the service provider. Service provider will check with their available options, and it will send it back that response. Okay, we are having these, whether it's whatever your size is there, whichever the clothes you like, whichever the fashion you like, whether it's available with them or not, they will check and it will send you the response. So there are two major roles with the service-oriented architecture. One is service provider and one is the service consumer. So this is the components of the service architecture. So these points we will see in detail. See, components of service-oriented architecture. So this is the service registry. So what will be there? What is the business process? Which are the different services available over there? Service description, service communication protocol, transport, and then we are having one more part over there. What is the quality of that services? Okay, policy. Which policies they have set? Which are the security they are maintaining with their communication between consumer and the service provider, what type of transactions they are using for the payment and this purpose, what they are using, how they are managing all these things. So these are the quality of services. So let's see one by one. The functional aspects contain, so the upper one, okay, the functional aspects contains these five things are there. Let's see in one by one. Transport, okay, it transports the services request from the service consumer to the service provider, and service responses from the service provider to the service consumer. So whatever the transport is there, so whichever the request I am sending to the service consumer provider, and the service provider will check with their available options, and it will come back to us. Okay, these options are available with us. You can buy from these things. So that is like a transport or communication between service provider and service consumer is called as a transport. Okay. Now, what is the protocol for that? Service communication protocol. It allows the service provider and service consumer to communicate with each other. So we are communicating through that service registry, we can say. Okay, so where whatever the platform is available with us, with that communication protocol, with that registry or with that platform, we are communicating through to the service provider, or there will be communication between service provider and service consumer. Now, what are the service description? It describes the service and data required to invoke it. Okay, so describe the services and data required to invoke it. So whatever the descriptions they have to give. So whether it comes under the which services means, suppose I want to take for the clothes section, or in the like home appliances section, or the some jewelry section. So that description should be there. So which type of services they are providing. So service description should be there. Then it is an service, means it is an actual service. Okay, I want to buy one cloth or one dress, and that will be given by them to the service from the service provider. It will come to the service consumer. That is the actual service. Then what processes they are following? It represents the group of services called in a particular sequence associated with the particular rules to meet the business requirement. So what processes they are following? Okay, so some rules should be there, or some the defined process should be there. How it is going, moving towards from the service provider to the service consumer. Okay, so that means everyone, wherever whenever you are getting those packages from the Amazon and all, there will be proper packaging from the Amazon, right? Or if you are getting from the Mintra, there will be, it will be coming through in proper envelope or proper packet from the Mintra. So it is shown that whatever your address will be there, name will be there. So they are following some processes when they are dealing with all these things. Okay, it's not like randomly, okay, this person you go and deliver this package. It doesn't happen like that. We have to follow these processes. So that is called as a group of services called in a particular sequences. So they have to follow all these steps. It will come through all these checks, and then only it will be delivered to the service consumer, from the service provider to the consumer. Then service registry, I told you, it contains the description of data which is used by the service provider to publish their services. Okay, how would you people know that I am selling the different clothes or different fashion clothes are there available with me? I should go and register to the service registry. Okay, then only. So with the mouth publicity also it will work, but obviously there will be some limitation with that. Okay, only few people will be knowing that, okay, this person is having these types of clothes are available with her. Okay, so it will be easy for those business people or those service providers. Just go and register over there. So everyone from the anywhere, those who are present over here in the India, they can go to that Amazon.in and they can purchase those products. Okay, so that service, that is called as a service registry. Then quality of service aspects. So whenever we are doing business, we have to follow some protocols. We have to maintain the quality of our products. So we have to define some policies before itself, and then we have to follow those policies. So what is policy? It represents a set of protocols according to which the service provider make and provide the services to the consumer. So some policies will be there. Okay, by parcel or this will be get delivered in some 8 days or the next day or on the same day. Okay, like that. Some policies will be there. They have to follow those policies. Then security will be there. It represents the set of protocols required for the identification and authorization. How will you check that OTP is used to come over on your mobile, right? So that person is you only, and you have asked for that project. So you are the same service consumer who has asked for this product. So that in that way they are checking the security. Okay, and whenever it is coming from the service provider also, they must be checking some authentication over there also. As I don't have any related to this type of business, so I don't know how do they used to check, but obviously there will be some security check at the service provider side also. So whether whatever the product they are giving, whether the quality of that product is good or not. Okay, whether that is the only seller who has mentioned, who has put their name onto the Amazon. So all these security checks will be there at both the ends, at the service provider end and at the service consumer end also. Then the transaction. It provides the surety of consistent results. This means if you use the group of services to complete the business function, either all must complete or none of the complete. Okay, so transaction means they have to follow this process. Okay, whether it is, whether it's a small earring also, they have to follow all these steps. It's not like that the purchase is very small, then you don't have to follow these steps. So the transaction should be very smooth. So they have to go through all these steps, then only it will be passed through that process. Okay, so it provides the surety of consistent result. That's why it's these are the service providers, that Amazon or Myntra, they are at the top side, because whatever the products they are selling, they are at the they are of good quality. Okay, they might not be at of lower quality, or sometimes it's broken, or though it is broken and if we are complaining to them, they will refund our money. Such kind of services or such kind of facilities they are giving to the consumers, so that it will be there will be the surety of the consistent result. Then the management, it defines the set of attributes used to manage the services. So there will be some management rules will be there. The packaging should be done properly. The address should be there. That Amazon means that Amazon cover should be there. You cannot give it to the customer service, that service consumer directly like that. So that managements are there. It defines a set of attributes used to manage those services. Okay, I'm just giving this as an example. Okay, don't write in such a way that it should be like that, but to understand all these processes with example, it will be easy for you to understand. That's why I'm giving these types of examples. Then what are the advantages of SOA? It is easy to integrate. In service-oriented architecture, the integration is service specification that provides implementation transparency. Okay, easy to integrate. So that provides implementation transparency will be there. So service-oriented architecture, by the name itself, we can understand that they are providing on the services. So also all these are the service platforms. They are using this architecture that is called as a SOA. Manage complexity. Due to service specification, the complexities get isolated and integration becomes more manageable. Platform independence. The services are platform independent as they can communicate with each other through a common language. Okay, so that suppose we are using the Amazon.in platform, so obviously there will be the products from the India. Okay, we will not be not seeing the products from the out of India. So that is the platform independence is there. Loose coupling, it facilitates to implement the services without impacting other applications or services. Parallel development, as SOA follows the layer-based architecture, it provides the parallel development. It's available and reliable. These two advantages are there. These are the cloud models. This middle part we have studied already in the unit number 2. These are the different cloud services. Okay. So that SO now the cloud security part is there that we will see in the next lecture. Okay, I will stop here for today's lecture. The cloud security point that I will try to cover into the next unit, and then we will start with the remaining points from the unit number 5. Okay.